Well, hi, everyone. I'm Rusty Dunn. Welcome to this Getting to Know You conversation today with Marty Haycraft, a Caterpillar Vice President and Chief Executive Officer of Progress Rail, a company which has been part of the Caterpillar family since 2006. Marty, I think this is the first time we've had a chance to have a conversation like this and meet. Great to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. It is the first time that I've had the chance to talk with you. Looking forward to having the conversation, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And as always, as we've gotten used to sort of doing it virtually, which is just fine. Well, before we get into a couple of the nuts and bolts of Progress Rail and learn a little bit more about the company, tell us about you. You've spent most of your career, your entire career, in and around the rail business. How did you get started down that path? And I'm sure you've had plenty of people to help steer you along the way. But talk about your career a little bit.
I started with Progress Rail in 1990. Working at a freight car wheel shop, which was a predecessor company of Progress Rail called Wheel Corporation of America. Got the opportunity really starting from the ground floor as I was finishing my accounting degree at the University of Louisville. Really start sweeping floors. So, that's about as low as you could start. And
ground level, yeah.
Had the opportunity to learn all the equipment at that shop and quickly moved into management and worked numerous positions in our freight car wheel shop business when Steel Processing Services, which was a 50% owner of Wheel Corporation, owned by Billy Ainsworth, sold his entire company to a company called Florida Progress. That occurred in 1993. I moved from Louisville to Alabama, took over materials management for the entire company at that time. At that period of time, just to give you an idea, Progress Rail was about $120 million in sales. Florida Progress had an aggressive growth strategy and their deregulated side of the business to grow in the rail segment. So from 1993 to 2000, we did 27 acquisitions, grew the company to a little bit over $1 billion. And I got to learn a lot. And, timing was great. Got to learn a lot about acquisitions and, various management positions. And in 2000, moved from material management into an operations role, was running vice president of our operations for our freight car wheel shop business. Quickly moved from that into a sales and marketing role for all of rolling stock. We continued to grow until 2001. Florida Progress was acquired by Carolina Power and Light. So they were mandated by the SEC that they must sell off their deregulated businesses. We were part of that. So then we were purchased by an investment banker in 2005, started going through the process of either taking the company public or selling to a strategic buyer. Caterpillar purchased us in 2006, and here we are today. So long story, but that's the journey that we have been on, and it's been an exciting one.
What a fascinating journey, and it hasn't always been on a straight track, if you will. That's been quite an evolution, and you've had a chance in your career to learn a little bit of everything. So Caterpillar employees around the world may know a little bit about rail, but don't know a lot about Progress Rail day in and day out. Complex business, as you sort of mentioned there. It's interesting, and very global. Tell us a little bit more about that in terms of the company's mission.
Yeah, so I pretty much gave you a prelude, through 2006, and I will say up to that period of time, our primary focus was in services, 100% in services, being on the rolling stock side or being on the infrastructure side. And, when Caterpillar acquired us, of course, a lot of interest from the standpoint of growing in the locomotive space, especially with Caterpillar's expertise on the engine side being a big differentiator. So we immediately started down the path of repowers of locomotives using Cat engines and modifying locomotives using Cat engines. And then the opportunity came up to acquire EMD in 2010. EMD, we completed that acquisition in the fall of 2010. That really made us large in the locomotive space. Being a big OEM with a lot of engineering, a little bit different experience for me, and experience for most of the Progress Rail team. I think we brought the Progress Rail team deep expertise in the services growth side of the business and how we service the customers. EMD brought a lot of engineering expertise that, the two companies together really made a great team. And then you bring in the Caterpillar piece with, a great iconic brand already global that really just enhanced the recipe for success. We grew the business substantially from 2010 to 2014. We continue. We had some challenges with Tier 4, coming into play in 2015. We've had some challenges in the marketplace in that segment of the business, but now we're starting down the path with a lot of zero emissions opportunities that we're being able to leverage a lot of Caterpillar expertise along with our locomotive expertise in that area of the business. And we're very excited about that.
And as the business has grown and you bring on more and more customers, that customer base is very diverse, isn't it? It maybe offer just a brief description of the types of customers that Progress Rail serves.
Basically, anybody that has track, anybody that has a rail car or a locomotive is a potential customer for Progress Rail around the world. So we're dealing with, government agencies around the world. We're dealing with private industry around the world. It is a very diverse customer base. When you think about North America, which is the largest market in the world, 7 Class 1 railroads make up, 70% of the potential sales. And then you have a huge network of short line railroads, industrial accounts that's, over 1,000 customers in North America. As you, move across the world, you've got some countries like Australia and Brazil that have, privatized. So, they're not part of the government agencies. And then you go into other portions of the world that, especially in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, India, they're government ran. So how you have to approach those customers are different. From our standpoint, we want to be the most customer focused railroad supplier in the world. When we strive to be that way, we understand for us to be successful, our customers have to be successful. We also understand that we got to have good employees and take care of our employees. So really the two things that we focus on is customer and employees. And if we think we get those two things right, we'll be successful.
And I want to go back to customers in just a second. But first, it strikes me it's such a milestone year for Progress Rail, a lot of growth opportunities for the company. Maybe hit a couple of highlights for this year as you see them. And you mentioned a big one, EMD, their 100th birthday.
Yeah, that is huge. Anytime a company's been around for 100 years, that's means for celebrations, and we're going to celebrate that. We have, a couple of events already planned. One in a combination with a grand opening that we're having at Winston-Salem. There's other events that we're going to be doing as the year goes around, and really just celebrating an iconic brand that our customers really look up to. As you go around the world, some people recognize EMD even more than Caterpillar, which is saying a lot. So, we're very excited about that. We've announced over the past several months, some big opportunities that's going on with battery electric, one being with BHP, one being with FMG. The biggest battery electric order that's been given so far, Union Pacific, was announced a couple of months ago. We also got a large developmental project that's going on in conjunction with Chevron and BNSF with hydrogen fuel cell. So, we're really excited about that part of the business.
Yeah, nobody's standing still for very long. That's for sure. And of course, your team works so hard to create and maintain those lifelong customer relationships within the global rail industry. And I know you and the team have talked about it in terms of customer support all day, every day, literally. Is that really the key, Marty, to being successful in all aspects of the rail business, all day, every day with that customer?
The railroads operate 24/7. You might get a little bit time off on Christmas Day, and you have to be able to respond to your customer 24/7 with whatever issue comes up, and then that can be in a locomotive that is very key to their operations, but equally as key is the rail cars have to row. If there's a derailment that occurs, they need you to respond to that derailment. In our track work business, we're supplying all the key castings for switch points that makes the rail cars, the locomotives move directionally from one track to the other. We have the signal operations that we're providing. So we're very key to their success, and we have to be able to respond at a moment's notice. And that's the reason why customer focus is so important. We have to know their business better than they know that business, and sometimes anticipating what their needs are going to be in the future so we can respond to that very quickly.
Yeah, new challenges every day, but you hope some new opportunities too as you go forward. Marty, it has been a real pleasure to talk with you and introduce yourself to our Caterpillar employees around the world. Certainly hope we have an opportunity to talk in the future. And the best of luck to you and the Progress Rail organization as the year unfolds. And it's going to go quick, as all the years do, it seems like. But great to have you here.
Well, thanks for having me.
And thanks for watching, everyone. As always, be safe in everything you do. Take care. I'm Rusty Dunn. We'll see you soon.